Hello and welcome to the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and today I have two wonderful men with me. I have Dr. James Anderson, Chancellor of Fayetteville State University, and Dr. Larry King, President of FTCC. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Dr. King, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a native Floridian. I wasn't born in North Carolina. I just got here as fast as I could. Left Florida, went to Oklahoma, expecting to be out there a few years. I was out there for 34. Retired in Oklahoma and then came to North Carolina for another adventure. Started off in Raleigh. Was there for about 5 years, and the last 12 years I've been here in Fayetteville. Love it.
Okay, and what were you doing in Raleigh?
I was Vice President for Economic and Workforce Development for the North Carolina Community College System.
Okay, great. And Dr. Anderson?
I'm native of Washington, D.C., and left there to attend Villanova University. You know who, Larry, who won two of the last 3 national championships. You do know Villanova, don't you?
I know them very well because you've beaten me a few times.
Okay. From there, I went on to Cornell to get a PhD in psychology. Actually became the first African-American to get a PhD in psychology.
Congratulations.
At Cornell. Have been in higher ed ever since, about 4 or 5 different universities, and finally ended up here. I was at NC State for 11 years. I was a dean and vice provost, and I fell in love with North Carolina. And after going to Texas and New York, I decided to come back and settle here.
Okay. Now, Dr. King, what is FTCC doing to prepare students for a seamless transition to FSU?
One of the things we work closely with FSU, first of all. I mean, we have good, close relationships. We literally, I was looking on a schedule today about people that come, organizations that come to our campus, and I looked on there and I said to myself, wait a minute, FSU is showing up a number of different times in this schedule. That must mean we have a good relationship with them. So we welcome them. They actually have places on our campus where they interview students and help students with transitions with our counselors. We look at your transcripts as to what you require in the different programs, and then as a result of that, try to align our programs as much with theirs as is possible. There are a variety of things that we have done over the years to include the awarding of scholarships, and then we, of course, you know, we talk Fayetteville State up with our students when we have an opportunity to do so. We can't guide them or require them to come here. It's up to the university to win their hearts and minds, but Fayetteville State does that and does it very well. The university that we transfer more students to than any other would be Fayetteville State University.
Okay. We also have a 2+2 agreement, and there are certain programs such as nursing. If a student enters a 2+2 program at FTCC, they're automatically admitted into FSU. They don't have to reapply for admission. Okay. So if they do well, get their associate's degree in a particular area where we have a 2+2, they automatically are registered to come to FSU. So it's a smooth transition.
Okay, Dr. Anderson, what is your goal as far as the relationship between you and FTCC?
Well, I mean, we're in the same city, and we need to have a close working relationship so that students, sometimes students just want to get away from home, but getting away from home always isn't the best thing to do. You need to make sure that you're at an institution that cares about you, that is a seamless transition from your community college experience. And so we try to make sure that they understand that we are that coming from FTCC to us is maybe a better idea than going to another UNC school. We try to provide scholarships for FTCC students and make sure, you know, we finished a $27 million capital campaign last year. That was all scholarship money, and some of it was earmarked to students from FTCC to come to us. So, you know, it's a lot of things you can do, but you try to pick the ones that satisfy both the institutions and the student.
Okay, right. Now, how does FTCC and FSU operate its relationship for the benefit of their students? Does FTCC see FSU as a priority institution, and does FTCC advocate for FSU or even a 4-year degree in general to all of its students? Is it allowed to do so?
It's really interesting when you consider the demographics of the people that come to our institution. We have students that will come to us that could go to Harvard, they could go to MIT, they could go anywhere you want to name, the university, the elite of the elite. But there are a lot of them that want to stay closer to home because that's where their family roots are. And Fayetteville State University is the same way. They have as talent that comes here is just overburdened with talent. By the same token, we have students that come to us for more help. And as we help them through that process, we know for a fact that if they come to us and graduate with their 2-year degree and they transfer on, they will do extremely well when they go on to the receiving university. And so the ongoing dialogue between ourselves and Fayetteville State University and its faculty and staff creates a pathway, for lack of a better word, that is clearer, is more achievable in many respects, and then I think at the same time can end in a result with a baccalaureate degree and ultimately a graduate degree if they choose to pursue them, that will place them among the best of the best. And so we know it works. It's worked for a long time. And then our faculty are together periodically. They're reviewing the curricula that's required to meet the needs of different industry sectors. And we just make sure that it works. It's an ongoing dialogue. We tease each other at times about being brothers, and we are. You know, in terms of what we do here and the way we work with people. And it's a celebration day for me if they can come to Fayetteville State University and we can share in their success and their joy. And I know that Chancellor Anderson has the same regard for us. I mean, it's a mutual respect. And without that, I don't know if we would have the success that we enjoy. But from the time he arrived until this very day, we tease each other a lot, but at the same time, we work very closely together to make sure that success, at the end of the day, resides with the very students that we serve, and that's what's at the center of everything we do.
So officially, Larry is my brother from another mother.
Okay.
Officially. Okay. But he's right. It's imperative that our advisors and our counselors have a very close working relationship with his advisors and counselors, because usually those groups are the ones who touch students more closely than anyone else. And so we have to make sure that they're up on new things that we might have, new degree programs, new online programs. But the other thing that we have in common, which is really important, is of the 16 UNC universities, one is a high school, 17, of the 16 UNC, most of them cater still to first-time freshmen, except us. And so at Fayetteville State, our average age is now 25. When I came 10 years ago, the average age was 18. All right, so we're serving more commuters, more older students, more military, more transfers, and that fits right into their bailiwick. So that's why it works so well between us.
Okay, all right.
It works very well, and I just add on to that. I mean, we've always served that 28, 29-year-old contingent of people,
Okay.
and I think the beauty of what we have an opportunity to do together as higher education institutions is that we have the ability to touch more of the cross-section of America than does just about any other institution, with the exception of the K-12 system. And so we embrace that. We really love that. And so at one time, you're exactly right, traditional was that transferring 18-year-old student out of high school. Traditional now is becoming that older student that's coming back to reskill themselves or refocus their interests and so forth with the higher education opportunities that we provide.
Okay. Tell us about the North Carolina Comprehensive Articulation Agreement. Many of the degrees offered at FTCC and other colleges, community colleges, are not part of this agreement, such as applied degrees. Was this an oversight, or is there some rationale for excluding these degrees and courses?
Well, it wasn't an oversight. When it did occur, it occurred because there were areas that FTCC or other community colleges emphasized that we didn't. And so applied degrees, applied pre-professional degrees sometimes, are a good example of that. We just didn't offer those things, so there was no need to have an articulation agreement on those things.
Okay.
And what normally happens with the articulation agreements is you're talking about those general education courses typically that are transferable and are required in just about any major person would be interested in taking. So the 30 to 40 hours are largely made up of that, plus the introductory courses, for example, in business administration that might be accounting or economics or something like that. When in reality what we do, we teach many of those same courses and they transfer of a normal course anyway. But we also teach courses that are typically taught in the junior, senior, or even the first year of graduate school, because we have some students that have no interest in coming and then transferring on to a four-year college. They want to go directly to work. And so they need the same foundational knowledge and skill sets that one would get with a 4-year degree. So I don't think it was an oversight, but I think the sheer nature of the institutions created a circumstance in which they did the best they could do with what they had. Is it perfect? Not at all. Can it get better? By all means. And we're working continually to make it better. But considering where it was compared to where it is today, it's much better than it was.
There was a time when I first came that the UNC system required us to let the community colleges teach the 100 and 200 level courses, which would kind of be the general ed courses. And so we had to do that. That's changed since then because a lot of the big name UNC schools didn't like that. So it changed. But we still really stick close to what Larry said, making sure that everything is operative, that we find those areas of mutuality where we can really make the articulation agreement work.
Okay.
And one of the exciting things about it is that one of the purposes of higher education is to explore and find your interest and your passion anyway, and so sometimes that requires moving around a little bit. Well, if you move around a little bit and you take some of those courses that are more general in nature, then perhaps you can find that area where your passion resides, and as a result, you won't hurt yourself. If you go too firmly into a particular area too early, and you decide to change your mind later on, that sometimes that's when it can hurt you in terms of credits that are earned and then received at the receiving university. So all these courses that are in that comprehensive articulation agreement gives the student a lot of opportunity, not only with us, but with the university to which they might ultimately go.
Okay, great, okay. I've also read about a reverse articulation agreement. Is this an agreement between FSU and FTCC exclusively?
Right now it is. I'd say primarily the students who participate in that are from FTCC. They could be from other community colleges. So let's take a student, first-year student who comes to FSU and learns, they learn and we learn that they're really not ready for certain levels of college work,
Okay.
especially in tough disciplines. We suggest then to them that they go back to FTCC, or for the first time go to FTCC,
Okay.
take courses, and then transfer to us. So by starting with us, going to FTCC, and then returning to us, you usually find that that student really builds a solid base in what it is they're studying.
Okay.
And many times it's not exclusive to Fayetteville State and FTCC, it's all over the state
Okay.
and really all over the nation now with many different systems.
Okay.
I will tell you that in our community though, that Fayetteville State is the largest, and Chancellor, last time I checked on this, one of the largest in the state.
Really?
In terms of reverse transfer. And it's not just for those that may not be quite ready that come back to us, it's also individuals that came and you know, for whatever reason, they didn't quite finish or they weren't quite ready when they left us, and they'll come here and take courses, some of them even approaching a baccalaureate degree, and they will come back to us in a reverse transfer agreement. And we're able to award an associate degree with them as well. So it gives them multiple opportunities to pursue what they're interested in, and it really fulfills their needs more effectively than what we had before. But I am proud to say that the relationship we've had in working together, as I said, at one time, it's just about a year ago, we had the largest in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is your ultimate goal, Dr. King, for FTCC?
My ultimate goal is to have every student succeed at what he or she chooses to pursue. My measure for that would be that regardless of what their interest is, regardless of what their desire would be, that we are able to be a catalyst to help them realize that goal and those opportunities. That means that some of them are going to take short courses and go to immediately to work and make livable wages that would support a family. Others will come and work with us for 2 years and have greater opportunity even than the first one I gave the example of. And then the third would be those individuals that are interested in pursuing a baccalaureate degree or beyond, that they would have a pathway of opportunity to Fayetteville State University or any other university in the country that would be a benefit to them so that we can help them achieve the objectives that they have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, viewing audience. Once again, my guests have been Dr. Anderson and Dr. King. Thank you for viewing the Bronco Exchange. I'm Dr. Shanessa Fenner. Have a good one.
Hypnotized, familiar stranger, wait, hold up, don't run